Now we can start. Saurav and Asif, both of you, I gave you co-host permission. Saurav, you can handle.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I'm going to the breakout room, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
And taking those.
I already sent one learner, and I could not able to find.
Gaurav has sent message that he is facing some connectivity issue. One more join. Prashant.
And Prashant is joining.
I'll share my screen, Sangeeta.
I'm just checking yesterday's assignment. I can see only 4 have completed. Guys, please update the URL. Are you facing any difficulty in completing the SAM Anderson? If we give another 1 hour time today, will you able to complete it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Check out, guys. Priya, Richa.
Yes, ma'am.
Anuj.
Yes, ma'am.
Complete the sprint on time. Yes, Sahasik, we can start.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Morning, sir.
See
Morning,
today, good morning, guys. See, today in this session, we are going to learn about one topic, one property of CSS, which is called float property. See, there are many properties we have learned in CSS, like display property, then font related property, border related property. Okay. So we have learned many properties. So like that, there is another property called float property that we will be learning. Okay, now the question which comes to our mind, what is float property and why it is coming to existence in CSS? Why it is been included in CSS? Okay, to answer this, see, in a web page, there is a requirement to place the document in the form of paper. So if you see the paper, so in the left hand side paper, you can see where in the left hand side paper where we have a heading breaking news. Below to the heading, there is one row where the subheading is there in a red background, and below to the red background we have an image, and the image is surrounded with a text. Check it out, the right hand side paper picture where we have a heading, and the news are being laid out in this paper in different column and different rows. Okay, and there are some images inside which is surrounded with the text. So to give this effect, actually to give this effect where your image would be surrounded or wrapped with the text around it, that is the CSS float property come into existence. Okay, so in a web page, there is a need of making the layout of the content the way the paper displays. Same way we can get it, means we are going to have a picture, and we are going to all the text which is regarding that picture would be surrounded that picture. Okay, so that effect you can get it with the concept called CSS float property. What is it? What is this video is all about? So you just check it out. See, we in this video we have a picture in the middle, and the picture is wrapped around with the text. Okay, just to get a this type of layouting of the web page, the CSS float come into picture. So what I will do, I am going to have a picture, and I am going to make that picture float center, and then below to the picture I will have a text that is going to be in the left hand side of the picture how many spaces there, right hand side of the picture how much space is there, and in the down how much space is there. That would there the content or the text would be wrapped around the picture. So that is what the reason why the float CSS float property is been introduced. Okay, now layout. So actually layouting means what? Layouting means designing of the web page. Designing of the web page means what? How the web page should look like. So that means there is a content. The content is there for a HTML, which you for the website content, it would be there in the HTML, but the layouting, how the content should be placed on the page, that can be done through CSS. And CSS flow property is one of the property to do that for us. Okay, now what are the things we are going to learning over here? Explain a normal document flow. So if you don't use CSS, if you don't use display, there is a normal document flow is there. Basically, there is some elements are there in HTML which are block element. There are some elements are there HTML which are inline element. So based on their normal behavior, if you don't do any forcefully changement of the layout, then how it look like? That is called normal document flow. Okay, so I'm not using any layouting. When I will be not be using any layouting CSS property, then based on the elements normal behavior, how the web page look like, that concept is called the normal document flow. Next thing, creating multiple column layout using float and clear fix. So whenever you are going to, whenever normal document you want to change, normal layout of the document you want to change, or the web page content you want to change, so that can be done with the floats and clear fix property. We'll be learning that how. Describe the relative and absolute positioning of the CSS. So in CSS, there are different type of position for in a CSS. There is a property called position, and that position property can have multiple values: absolute, relative, static, okay, and fixed. So when we make a HTML element position absolute, what behaviorally it changes, or when you make a some content position as relative, what will happen? So that we'll be learning. And at the end we'll be learning Z index. So what is Z index? Where Z index is a property in CSS through which you can overlap one element on the top of the another element. Okay, so we can do the layering of the element through Z index property. So all these things we will be learning. Okay, now normal document flow. Normal document flow means what? There is a first P, and then there is a second P, there is a third P, and there is a fourth P. In the fourth P, we have some, whichever you are seeing in yellow color, these are nothing but span. So, why it is considered as a normal flow? Because I have not doing forcefully any changement of the layout. I have not used CSS float. I have not used CSS display. I have not used any other layouting styling or layouting property for this document. So that means how the P should be, since there are 4 P's are there, and according to the normal behavior of the P, all the P would be a block element. So all would be one below another. Okay, and within the fourth P, I have some span. Since the span's behavior, default behavior is it is an inline, so all the 4 span would be inline onto the 4th paragraph. So this is a basic document flow. Means in a HTML, if I have a 4P, how it should, with some content in each P, how normally it should look like based on the HTML behavior, that is this behavior. Okay, that is this look and feel of that web page. Okay, next, normal document flow. Click the link normal document flow demo code to check the demo code. So now where I will go, I'll go to my code, and here I'll open normal document flow, normal flow HTML. You see the example over here. What you can see, within the body, I have a H1. I have a H1 basic document flow, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 P's. I have 4 P's. First P is having some text, second P is having some text, and the last fourth P is having some text, and inside the text it is having some span tags. So span tags is there, and then at the end it is having, in the footer section, it is having one image. Now if I run this, I am getting what I am getting. I am getting the look and feel of the, I am getting the web page where there is no forcefully changement of the layout is been done by using any of the CSS layout property. It is coming as normal as all the P should display because of its block property, block behavior, one below another, and then the fourth paragraph is having some span which is inline. Okay.
Yes, sorry to interrupt, Hasif. Before that, I would like to introduce layouts.
Okay.
So, sir has been mentioning about div and span, the word span and div. What do you mean by layout, Harsh? In a web page. So
Layout, we can say it is a framework in which we write the codes so that we put a little change, it will change in the whole format of whatever we put inside the layout.
Whatever we put in the layout.
It is like a class, we can say, kind of like a class.
Praveen, what do you mean by layout in a web page?
The way of representing the information.
Representing the information. Okay. Kudus?
Ma'am?
What do you mean by the term layout in web page?
Layout means specifying certain area for certain things.
Okay. Okay. So guys, when we are in Java programming language, you are thinking your definition, whatever the thing you are exploring, everything related to application development, programming, problem solving. Whereas when you are into database, your ideology, everything to be behind on data. When you are in HTML development, we are into web application development where we are dealing with web pages. So web pages are designed with the help of HTML elements. So don't say information, don't say content. Content, information, everything you are going to apply through HTML elements. So I am going to specify various HTML elements. And via my HTML element, my content are going to displayed on my web page. Point number 1. So in that, how I'm going to specify my HTML element, or as you said, the content which I'm going to displayed on my web page. So that can be categorized as layout. So simply I can say layout of my web page, which specifies how my HTML element, how my content, how my information going to display on a web page. So it's very important for a web developer to design a layout, to define a layout properly so that your web page will be more appealing. So we have two different layouts. So in order to define layout in our web page, we have two different layouts. One is div tag, the other one is span tag. Who is here? Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Sangeeta.
Yes, sir.
I think you are in the middle of a session.
We started with our today's concept, sir.
Okay. Good morning, guys. Maybe can I just take 5 minutes? Okay, because I want to quickly just get back to them. Well, I can see some few new names here in the batch.
Yes,
I have
sir.
not
Even
interacted.
I thought to update.
Okay, so that we'll check later. So good morning, guys. What I want to basically quickly inform you is on some of the actions which you have taken basis your feedback which you guys have shared in the recent time. Okay, last week I think I sent one feedback form, and then even audit I sent a feedback form. See, generally what we will do is we will send it monthly. We'll share the feedback form, online feedback form, and then I assure you it is very confidential and personal. And then what we do is we go through the feedback, and then in case there are some specific things which we need to act upon, definitely we do that, and then we'll also get back to you. Okay, so I just want to quickly look into while we have already started acting on some of the things. I want to just quickly ask few of you on few points. Now, one concern which two learners have raised is the learner portal doesn't connect quickly from 9 a.m. Till next 5-10 minutes. I have discussed with your mentors also. This part we are working on this. We are checking with the specific team, the portal team. Since only one or two have mentioned it, I am assuming it only for very few people and may not be for everybody. So very few people have mentioned it. So this is one thing. In case if more people are having it, definitely please let me know when I'm connecting up with you later. That's one thing. And apart from that, yes, there are 2-3 learners who have actually mentioned that they would like to have a session with the students who already got placed. It is basically like like alumni connect. So this already I have initiated with our placement team, and then shortly you will be hearing about one alumni meet. So please don't miss out that session. Definitely I would like all of you to attend it, so that you will know what exactly you can actually hear from your previous batch students, okay, who got placed. Okay, so that is something which some of you have actually asked, so definitely we'll take care of that one. And apart from that, other main things is well, let me, I think one learner has mentioned that that they should be provided with some important notes. Okay, as it is not easy to prepare notes after 9 hours of class, and we have to do practice of work. So this point I have actually discussed with Sangeeta. Sangeeta, we would like to add on to this one. So are we giving any notes, and then notes, or do they need to be provided more material? This is something which I thought, okay, let me discuss in the group itself. Are we providing any notes, or maybe a gist of the things? Is something available in the portal otherwise? Yeah.
So portal, we have the PPT. Apart from that, for core Java, since it is programming language on every topic, I will create my own definition, and whatever the demos, other than concept demo and the sprint demo, starting from simple demo to complex demo, I will append in that same my file, and I shared with them. But it not looks like an note format. It seems like whatever the thing we discussed on the session, it may also include recap of the previous day.
Okay.
If it is notes,
but
then,
otherwise in the portal itself, we do also have the content which the learner can go through. Fine. So
Yes.
apart from that, we're not providing any specific notes sort of thing like, normal online classroom, like we are not providing, but the material which is available online is sufficient. And then of course, regular attendance and all those things definitely is very, very important.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one thing. And apart from that,
so this weekend, I'm planning to again put a separate notes or a PDF material
Yeah.
for topics and definitions, because they have to appear for technical discussion. They have to give an definition and some tricky interview questions. I thought to add for core Java since we completed Java.
Okay.
So next week, I'm planning, I'll implement this for this wave. I have all the notes. I need to collate it and I need to give it in the proper format, the order and manner.
Yes. Okay. Fine. But while you said that, Sangeeta, it may not be possible for every module as you go ahead in the courses to give the notes. So I just want to be cautious here, because we are not committing, guys, that we are going to give you notes, and then because the material which has been provided itself would be sufficient. But apart from that, whatever the content which your mentor keeps on sharing with you, please go through that one. Okay, but still, in case you face any issues, please let us know. That is one thing. And apart from that, one more feedback one of the learner has given. I felt it's very valid feedback, wherein they said that, I think one of the learner, he says that can we get any recap session sort of thing, so Sangeeta, are we doing any type of recap session? Maybe I am taking it like feedback from multiple students, while only one student has written recap, in the sense how exactly we need to have the recap. Do we are we going to provide any recap, or maybe on important topics? Can we have, or no, maybe one recap at the weekend, or maybe during your regular classes, at the beginning of the class, early in the morning, can we have a quick relook at, are we having the overall relook at of what exactly we have covered yesterday? Are we doing it, or directly getting into the topic?
So the thing is, once the module is completed, since we are going a little bit slow.
Yes.
And I found that, so I'm open to my learners, because according to me, enough Java recap and thing has been provided. But I will work on notes.
Okay.
So the notes they can have at any time to refer, so that I can commit to this learner. I can provide, because I have enough material. Only thing is I need to collate.
Okay. So no. What I mean by recap is here, guys. While I think I'm not naming who has given the feedback, but one learner has given it. Do we? One is, it may not be practically possible to do a complete recap of the complete thing. So let us be very clear on that. See, therefore we have these recorded sessions which will help you. But having said that, in case if you feel that there is one or two topics which really needs maybe a recap, in the sense you may want some additional support, please do inform your mentors. Definitely that particular topic can be covered once again. Okay, Sangeeta, can I assure them?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so guys,
but on Saturdays.
Yes, on Saturdays. And then that reminds me of one more feedback, where one of the learners said that, can we get a recording of the Saturday's session? See, Saturday's session is basically, it is out of schedule. See, as far as our schedule is basically from Monday to Friday. On Saturday, whatever we are having is some additional session. So Saturday, as of now, we are not incorporating it in our LMS. Okay, see, what will happen is, while we may look at sharing that particular recorded session, definitely, but what I would suggest is, please join that session. See, that session itself is an additional session. Even if you are absent for that additional session and then you start looking for recording of that one, I don't think it would solve the problem. Okay, But the main point is basically what are the additional things, what are the points, which you want to have a recap of some key points which you couldn't understand. I would request each one of you to inform your mentors, maybe to Sangeeta on Friday or maybe on Thursday, whatever it is, and then say that, ma'am, these are the topics which you covered this week. Okay, maybe this specific point we would like to have a recap. Okay, maybe on Saturday we can plan and then have a recap of that specific topic. Okay, so that's one thing which I want to say. And apart from that, somebody has one of my friends in the batch has said the classes should go on till 4:30. Okay, that way we get time to relax and also get productive after 7 p.m. Ending class at 6 is somewhat tiring and you don't want to study at night. Yes, yeah, I mean, while I'm going, I have gone through this and then I have thought about it as to how exactly we can ease your what do you call your entire study life. See, maybe one thing is by design the program is made this way. Okay, class is between 9 to 6, but at the same time I'm sure you have some logical breaks in between. So how much time how many breaks we are giving, Sangeeta, during the sessions?
So morning 1 break of 10 minutes and afternoon.
Afternoon?
The evening around 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
And,
What is the lunch break?
Lunch we will give some 35 minutes to 40 minutes.
35 minutes to 40 minutes. Okay. Okay. So is the morning 10 minutes break, is it fine, guys? Maybe any one of you, I mean, you can unmute yourself and say.
If you feel like
Yes, sir.
you don't have break.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Morning break is sufficient.
Is it fine having a just quick tea break, bio break, whatever you can call it? Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So no, in case if you feel that is not sufficient, please let me know. That's what I was just trying to be very open. And then in the evening time, at what time you are getting break?
Sir, at 4.
At 4 o'clock. Okay, fine. Fine, I think that should help you out. But having said that, let's say at any point of time, fine, maybe on a specific day, if you feel that the content is too much, and then, yeah, if you feel that the topic has been very heavy and hectic, yes, your mentor is always there, and I'm sure they will always, they're flexible. Okay, that part, Sangeeta and team, you may want to take care of it. Okay, but we may not be able to change the batch timing till 4:30. That is one thing which I want to say. Okay, so if it is possible, I would have said yes, it is possible. But yeah, but we need to look at how we can ease in the entire process, and then how to reduce our stress. That's what we need to look at. Okay, and these are some of the things, and maybe the other things which one-to-one top points which some of I have mentioned, that I will talk to them. And in fact, I have got two type of contrasting feedback. One is somebody has said that we have more sprints, and somebody has said that we need more sprints. Okay, so frankly speaking, right now on this point, I want to reply, currently there is no plan to add more sprints. Okay, so as you go ahead right now you will see the topic you have in the advanced topics. Now that you have moved to HTML and CSS, okay, these are the advanced topics, and definitely it will take time for you to cover all those topics. So therefore, currently, immediately, we don't have any plan to increase the number of sprints. Okay, but at the same time, the same person has mentioned that they would like to have a session in a week for interview preparation. So this I felt is something very important feedback. I understand that all of you would like to prepare yourself for interviews. Okay, so this part, let me see how we can, if not every week, maybe at least once in a fortnight, apart from the placement sessions, apart from the sessions, which are organized by the placement team over a period of time. At least for you, in terms of interview preparation, technically, how we can help you, that part, let me work out. Okay, and then definitely get back to you on this one. Okay, so this is one thing which I want to share. And Sangeeta, I also want to share with them some of the recently last week, one of our learner from software engineering, he got the highest ever what do you call
Package.
paid package. Yeah, 1 second, let me just, I'm while talking to you, I'm just going through the records. Yeah, we have one of our student who got placed with Oracle, and then it was one of the highest packages in the recent time. It is at 9 lakh per annum. Okay, he is from our wave 19. Okay, so that was one of the highest packages which we have got for one of our students. And then apart from that, these are some of the last week news, I can say. In fact, we had one more, one is software engineering students, one data science student also. In fact, he got in as a data scientist with a CTC of 9 lakh per annum. That was also one good news. And well, I would like to see more of this type of news, and then like to share. In fact, I want to share one more one of the student of one more student, Sandeep. He got placed in an organization called Morning Star at a CTC of 8.78 lakh per annum, which is quite good, I would say, for a beginner. Extremely good, because these are some of the highest packages which our students have got in the last. Yeah, who's online?
Sir, these three students was from which side, sir? I mean, CS, mechanical, or which side?
Yeah, so what I will do is I'll just share it with you. Okay, maybe what I will do, Ayush, it was Ayush who asked.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Ayush, what I will do is I'll just what I will do is I'll try to put it in a their profile and everything to you, so that you'll be able to make out, and then you'll know the complete details. Definitely, I'll try to put it in an Excel sheet and then share it with you. Okay, so
Okay,
right
sir.
now,
Okay.
while I do have all the details, right now immediately I just I don't think I'll be able to present it. So, but definitely I'll share it with you. Okay, Ayush.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that's one thing. And the other point which I want to quickly tell, 1 minute. See, now to make our student connect, more organized in a more systemic way. What we have done is we have planned some specific days during which we would like to connect up with you. We, in the sense, basically I. So let me make it more clear. So see, whatever I connect in the classroom is basically, it's like, as a batch address. So I'll be talking to you one to one. Typically I would like to talk to you on Monday. So every Monday between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can expect my call. Okay, so it may be between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. since there are multiple learners. So what I would be doing is on Monday morning 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. most probably I might be connecting with few of you in the 1 hour, and in the evening 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I will try to cover some of you, and then again on Saturday morning 8:30 to 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. So between Saturday and Monday I'll try to connect up so that at least we will be able to interact at least once in a week. Okay, so I hope that would be fine. But in case one or two of you, in case due to any specific reason, on that day, if you are not able to interact, fine, absolutely fine. Maybe in case you are having any issue or something going out, you can always tell that can we contact later and all that, fine, absolutely. But this is a time on Monday evening 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and then on Monday morning 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Any of the timing I will be contacting you. Okay, so that's it. Sangeeta, which class? What is the topic going on currently?
We are in course 8, HTML sprint course.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you guys. I hope all of you are getting your assignment status, and then all of you are clear about it. Where do you stand as on today?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So please get the
Yes,
status,
sir.
whether I share the mail or not. Maybe see, one is I might be sharing the mail. That might be one point. At the same time, maybe you can also get the status. Maybe you can request the mentor so that she can show you the assignment status as on any specific date. Why it is important is one is from your academic point of view also, because you'll know that whether you have submitted each and everything. It's not just submission again, because it has to be evaluated by your mentors. You can look at whether it is evaluated or not, and then you can look at in case you have any doubts, you can get feedback on your assignments from your mentors. Okay, fine. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Sangeeta, and others.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you,
Have
sir.
a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll continue. Where are we? See,
And
from my
formats.
text. Yeah. We'll continue with layout, div, and span discussion. So continue revising. So again and again, I'm repeating. Your priority. You need this for this course and for whatever the technology you were into. So by this Monday, I'll complete HTML. So ensure that you know fundamentals of HTML and whatever the elements you have used, ensure that you are familiar. Moving on to JavaScript. So I know Java is a big module, whereas HTML and JavaScript, everything will complete by a way. So it's a course. 1 week we have planned. So please do a regular revision. So don't forget. So that too, core Java, all the concepts you need to be thorough. So that is running in my mind for longer time. I have lots of notes. These 15 years, I have collected so many of notes with Java. The thing is, I need to collate it and I need to give it in a proper format, in the proper sequence. And also I am planning to have key interview things. So some basic interview questions, some moderate interview question, and tedious, so difficult interview questions in Java. So let me plan.
Ma'am.
Don't worry, do your duty. I'm sure everybody will get placed as committed package. Yes, Surmani.
Ma'am, the question being asked in the interview is rather based on why and how, right? Like why
Correct.
this happening and how it is happening, right? It is not directly static question, right?
Correct. So you were not there in my core Java session. I used to say whatever the topic in core Java, you need to derive 3 answers. One is what, why, and how. Let's take constructor. You should know what is constructor. The plain definition. Why constructor? Why are we using the block constructor in Java program? And the third thing is how we are implementing constructor in core Java. So all the 3 are important. Out of that, I will give the high priority to why question. Why you are sitting here? Why I am talking? Likewise, everything is having a purpose. So why we have div tag? Why we have this particular property? So that why question is important. Good, sir, Mani.
And ma'am, last question. So ma'am, Java is pretty much a very huge syllabus in itself, right? So
right.
is there any evaluation or average found out that the question is being asked until this syllabus, or because we have also collection, data structure, even the advanced Java concept is there, right? So we as a candidate, do we need to go through all the syllabus, or is there a limit to where we should be really limiting ourselves?
see what I discussed with my previous batch students in their interview is, one is this generalized Q&A is happening. So from top to bottom, if it is a collection, if it is OOPS, if it is a fundamental, or if it is some JDBC question, here and there you should know the explanation for all the topic. And as we discussed, why we are going for all the topic, that is at one side. The other side, you will be getting a machine test where you will be given with the problem statement or a task. You need to do it with core Java. It can be a simple thing, but it will be a tricky. So one thing is definition part you need to know. The other thing is equivalent to our sprint question.
Thank you.
So apart from that, yeah, the third most thing is few interviewer gets satisfied based on the explanation you are giving on a project, both your capstone project and your the main project. The way you are explaining the project, they are getting more satisfied. And yeah, so three things. The one is what is what. The other thing is cracking the logic, and you need to solve that problem using the language, core Java language. The third thing is explanation of your project. For that, you need to know in and out of the project. So if you say you have implemented jukebox project with DAO methodology, you should know what is DAO, why we are going for DAO. And on explaining this DAO with model classes, interfaces, and implementation classes, they will like, they will know that you know the concept. What more is to be asked? So project explanation also plays a very important role. Okay, so you focus on your updation, your recap, and continue. Okay, so this week is about, that's what I was very much particular on last week. So this week we will be into HTML. Next week we will be into JavaScript. The next week we will be into Angular. Every week I will be introducing a new technology. So there will not be a time for core Java. That is why I said last week you had an enough time, 4 or 5 days. So continue the same. Okay, did I miss any one of you to address? Okay, so just go through what are all the things there in your, I can say, defining a layout. Okay, quickly let it complete and then we will continue with our float. So how the elements or content should be displayed on a web page. So for that, we need to define a layout of a web page properly. So that is how your web page will be more appealing. So in order to define a layout, it provides div tag and span tag. So this is one. These are all non-semantic. So in order to know, what to say that, in order to provide whatever we discussed in second chapter, better readability, and in order to know each and every tag meaning to our browsers, when it comes to screen reading, we are using the semantic tag. Apart from that and not semantic, we have div and span. So what is div? So div tag is used to define section in a document. So whenever it is not small, whenever if I want to go for large, in order to group a large section of HTML as a block. So in order to group large section as a block, and of course, I will apply different style on these blocks. So if I have my body part, so if you look into certain application, the entire body part, they will be dividing. So in that, the larger section, again, there will be n number of small group, sections, subsections. So this block, and again, first div inside one div, you can have another div. The largest section is going to divide into one more section. So inside div, so I can have a paragraph, some paragraph content, and I can have heading. I'm sure these are all familiar to you. So you can have headings, you can have paragraph. Okay, I can have one heading in one of my div, and I can have another paragraph in another div. So this is how you are making your web page, one single web page, more structured and attractive. So whereas the question comes, what is mean by span tag? So span tag, I will not say it's a larger section of block. It's a small section of a content where if I want to apply an inline style. So always span tag enables you to group and apply the style as an inline element. So always span is going to act like an independent element. Always, whenever if you have a span, for sure span will come with the style, enclosed style attribute, so that I can specify an inline style to the element which I have present. For example, so let's assume I have a div content. I have a div, inside div I have two div. So in this div, let's assume I have a paragraph. So welcome to layout concept of HTML. So in that, I want to highlight this layout, or I want to highlight HTML. This HTML alone, I can enclose within span. So whereas for this, if I want to apply any style attribute, I can provide. Give a try. Or let's assume color equal to blue and font weight is bold. Possible. So if I want to group and apply style, particularly for my inline element, so I'll be getting an output, welcome to the layout concept of HTML. HTML alone will be in blue and in bold font. So only for this, we will be using span tag. And whereas in order to give a meaningful, each and every element meaningful to our browser, and when it comes to screen reading functionality, to have a clear picturization of all the elements, we are using the semantic block. Can you name some semantic tags in HTML?
Nav,
Header,
section,
header, footer,
footer, header.
The header, footer, nav, figure, aside, article, section, H group, all falls under the category semantic tag. So explore on div and span. So div is a larger section of block. Inside div, if you have a paragraph there, if I want to apply any inline style, where I will be applying span. Okay. Yes, Hasib, thank you. Continue.
Yes, Sangeeta, thank you for your input. Yeah. So here we are discussing about normal document flow demo code. So we are discussing about that. Yeah. So over here, we have a one heading tag H1 and we have a 4 paragraph tag. And if you see the styling, is there any layout styling is been incorporated over here? No. So body is having width and margin. All the paragraph is having background, border, padding and margin. And then span is having background and border. So there is no we have not used any CSS called float for doing the customization of the layout. Okay, or we are not using any display inline or display block for customizing the layout. So that means as it is, what is the behavior of all these element? Based on the same behavior, the web page would be displayed in the browser. So if you run it, so you will get the output like this, 4 paragraph and then image at the end. Okay. Any questions in understanding this example?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll go for the next. Where is Okay, so I'll ask a question. Why the CSS float come into existence in CSS? What is the reason? Just now I have described. I have explained you. See, in a paper you see the layout of the content. How it is? There is an image, and the surround the image, the text should be wrapped. So this facility, the developer of the CSS wants to incorporate in their web page. Because of that reason, float come into existence. But later float is not only for those type of layout, for the other type of layout, for other element apart from image also we start giving the styling for the float. Okay. Next thing, why was the CSS float introduced? See, the CSS float introduced because of this layouting. We have an image, then below image we have some text. We have a left hand side image, then right hand side wrap text, then right hand side image and the left hand side wrap text. So for this kind of layouting, the CSS actually introduced, but later on for any kind of layouting, CSS is being using by the developer or the CSS developer. The another one reason why the CSS float is introduced, because of the drop caps. So in newspaper you see whenever a column or whenever a section is starting with a text, is having a text, then that text beginning letter would be in capital, and it is going to use as a drop caps. Means it is going to have a big in size, and it is going to spread across multiple rows, and it would be stand tall on the section of the text. So that also you can get it using the float property of the CSS. So that was the reason why CSS come into picture. But later on, for all sorts of layouting which we want to do it in our web page, the CSS is being started using. Okay, now think, how does the float work? How does float work? See, the thing you have to understand, in float there are some properties are there. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. I said float is what? It is nothing but it is a property of the HTML of the CSS. So evaluative float. Okay. Now any CSS property will have some values. So what are the values? Values are like this. Float, you can have float colon left. You can have float colon left. You can have float value of right, and you can have float value of center. Okay, so these many type of float values are there for the property float. So when you make float left and when you make float right, or when you make float center, what will happen? See, suppose there is a content where there is an image, means in HTML there is an image, and then image is followed with a paragraph. Now when you make image as, when you select the image by its ID and class, and you are going to give a float to that image, what will happen? The image is going to float to the top left corner of the screen, to the top left corner of the screen. So float left mean in the top left corner, if the space is there, the image is going to float there. And then the paragraph which is followed by image would be spread around the image if there is a space in the right hand side. Got it? Clear? So suppose it is like this. Suppose this is a screen. Suppose this is a screen. Okay. And now I have a HTML. I have a HTML. Suppose there is an image tag is there. Image src something equal to something. And then we have a class. Class equal to, suppose, I1. I1. Okay. This is the image tag. Then image is followed with a paragraph. With a paragraph, something blah 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 is written on that, and you are going to what is it called? You are going to close the paragraph. Now, what we are going to do, if I make in a CSS, in a CSS styling, in a CSS, what I'm doing, I'm writing I1. I'm selecting I1, and I'm for the I1, I'm giving float colon left. And then I'm going to closing this one. So when I do this one, when I make in CSS by selecting the image with its class name I1 and giving float left, what will happen? Where the image is going to float on this browser screen? Tell me where it will float.
Left
the image
left side.
Yeah. So is it float over here? Is it float over here? It is a left side only, right? Is it float here?
Top position.
No, it will not float here. So where it will float? Will it float here?
No, sir.
No. So where
Left side of paragraph tab. Left side of paragraph tab.
Yeah, it will. We in the top left corner of the screen where the empty space is there. There the, what is it called? The image is going to get float. Fine. Okay. Now, when the image got float in the top left corner of the screen, now where the P is going to be placed? So P is a block element. So will the P would be, because of the I1 float left, where P would be displayed, whether it will be displayed over here? It will be displayed over here?
No,
Tell
sir.
me.
No.
P is a block element. So normal behavior, based on the normal behavior of the P, it should display below to the image. But no, it will not display below to the image. Where it will display? Around the image, wherever there is a empty space. Okay, there the text is going to get displaced. So this is what the functionality of the what is it called? Float, when you are going to make some HTML element as float. Same thing if you do it like this. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make image float right. I'm going to write I1 flower bracket float colon right semicolon, close the flower bracket. Now in that case, so because of this styling of I1, where the image is going to get float on the screen, tell me. On the screen, on the screen, wherever if there is a space in the top right corner, there the image is going to get displayed. And because of that, because you make the I1 float right, the content or the HTML content followed by I is not, even if it is a block element, but it will not have its block behavior. The text is going to be wrapped around the screen, which is nothing but over here. So here it's going to get displayed. Okay, so this is what the float. And when you make the float as center, what will happen? When you make the float center, what I will do, I'll write over here I1 flower bracket Okay, when we make this float center, then in the screen where there is a space which is empty in the center portion of the web page, center portion of the screen, it will display there. So in the center, it would be displayed and the paragraph would be surrounded like this. So it would be like this over here. Over here, if the paragraph is big, you are going to have something over here. You are going to have something over here. Then you are going to have rest of the portion over here, and then it will be surrounded like this. So that is what the float center. Okay. Now let's come back to our PPT. Yeah. So simply float demo we have demonstrated. Next thing. Now simple float example. So this is a simple float example. Just now what we have discussed, we have an image where something is written inside the image float. Then we have a paragraph which background color is gray and which have some text inside that. And then below to that paragraph, excuse me, below to that paragraph, we have another 2 paragraphs. Okay, so another 2 paragraphs. So when you make the image float left, the image would be float just top left corner where the empty space is there in the screen. It will float there, and then the followed paragraph of the image would be beside the right hand side of the image only. Okay, beside the right hand side of the image only, and after paragraph followed by image which is being surrounded the image, once it is displayed, then the next paragraph also try to placed wherever there is an empty space after the first paragraph. Okay. Okay, now float removed from normal flow demo code. Okay, so float removed. We are going to discuss about this demo. What is this demo? Yeah, float removed. Yeah, this one. Can you explain me what is happening over here? Already H1, there is a H1, then there is a div. Div is having class box, which is so div is nothing but the, if you run it, can you tell me which is div over here in this page? Which is div?
Float, sir.
Yeah, float. Yeah. So the rectangle box, square box, ash color, gray color box, which is written float. This is a div. Okay, fine. Okay. Next is what? We have a P. P is, there is a P which is called special P. Class name is special P, which is this one. Lorem, ipsum, this thing. Then we have a then we have a clear P. We have another P whose class is clear, which is this one. And then we have another P, which is this one, which is the last paragraph. So like this we have. Now what we are trying to do, we are going to select in a body. I am giving some styling. Then I am selecting the box. That means I am selecting the div and I am making it float left. Because of making it float left, what is happening in the output? What is happening in the output? Because of the float left, the div, which is a square box, it is floating to the top left corner. Let's see if I remove the float left functionality from here. I remove it and then I'll run it again. Okay, I'll just remove it because commenting is not working. Now file, save, and I'll run it. See, can you see what has happened over here? Just I have removed one line piece of code, which is float left. And because of that, I am seeing some changes in the output. So why these changes happen? Anybody can explain? Guys, any response?
I think now this div is acting as a block.
Yes. So using float left forcefully, I make the div as inline, but now div's own behavior, own default behavior, which is block. So it is acting like that. So we have a div and followed by all the paragraph. It's coming over here. Okay. Now I want to, since my div is little bit small, I want to utilize the space beside right hand side beside the div. and I want to place that content beside the div. For that purpose, what I will do, I'll just use it over here in box. I'll make it float colon left. So once I do that, then the empty space beside or right hand side of the div can be utilized by a paragraph, and which is going to give you some information about that div only. Clear? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next thing. Now we have a special paragraph, which is this one, special paragraph. In the special paragraph, background color I am giving light gray, padding 10px, and color of the text color is like this. Okay. Now here we want to learn something which is this called dot clear. There is a dot clear paragraph, and in dot clear paragraph, what code we have written? We have written something called clear left or clear right or clear both. So this is a new CSS property which we are going to learn now. Clear left, clear right, or clear, like float left, float right, and float both. You can have a clear left, clear right, and clear both. So when you do clear left, okay, so if you run it, see, when you do clear left, what will happen? In the left hand side, the previous to the clear paragraph, what image is there, and that image where it is ending in the bottom, after that the text will display. The text will not display in the empty places just beside that image. So what I'm trying to say, I'm going to comment this one. I'm going to comment these as well. What I will do /star. Can you tell me what would be the output? How it differs the output? Now if you run it. One second, it's showing something. See what has happened. Clear is a property of CSS which helps us to make the next paragraph after the special paragraph to be displayed below to the image where it is being ended and the left hand side. So if you don't give clear left, then what will happen? That the clear for paragraph which would be displayed on the empty space where which is beside the image or below to the special paragraph. So now what I will do here, I'll go for this one, dot clear. I'll go for dot clear and flower bracket, and here what I will do, I'll write clear colon left. So when you do clear colon left, what will happen? Yeah, when you do clear colon left, what will happen? I have not saved it. Let me save. See, whenever you have to clear colon left, that means that the paragraph is going to get cleared or below to the image. It is going to get displayed, not the place which was empty beside that image. Okay. Now same thing. What I will do here, I'll do some small modification. Here I will write float right. Float right. Okay, and then I'll save it and come to this. See here what has happened. The div is floating to the right, and then the special paragraph is wrapping around the left hand side of the div, and then then here is one thing you have to learn. See this portion now has come inside the empty spaces left hand side of the div. Why it is like that? Any idea, guys? See what I have given in my code. I have given
float left.
Yeah, so float no, clear left. See here, dot clear left. When you make clear left, so that means left hand side of the previous row, where after that where the empty space is there, it is going to be displayed over there. Getting? Now I'll do a small change here. Let me tell me the output for this. If I write clear right, what would be the what will happen in the output?
Next line. So it will start from the line where there is nothing in the right side.
Yes. So which portion is actually means which portion of the previous row is spreading down below to that the special the clear paragraph will come. So when you write clear left, so left hand side where the paragraph ends, after that it will display. When you go for clear right hand side of the previous row where the div ends, after that it will going to get displayed. So this is what clear means. See, because of the float, a div is in the right hand side and the special paragraph is spread to the left hand side of the div. Now the next paragraph, if you make clear left, it would spread over here. So after left hand side where the paragraph ends, below that it will display. If you go for clear right for the clear paragraph, then right hand side based on where the div is going to get ends, after that the paragraph is going to get displayed. Is it clear? Clear option, guys?
Sir,
Any questions on this?
sir, clear left means that the paragraph will start from where there is nothing in the left side of that paragraph.
Yes.
And
Yes.
clear right means the paragraph will start from there where there is nothing in the right side of the paragraph.
Yes. Yes. So at the end of the right side, clear right is going to start the paragraph there, and clear left is going to start the paragraph at the left hand side where is empty space. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
you have rightly understood. All of you have clear with this? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So first thing, float left will make the div to float left or right, and next paragraph automatically is going to, you don't have to do the float left or float right to the next paragraph, which is a special paragraph. Automatically, because the previous div is float left or right, based on that the next paragraph is going to float around the paragraph, either left hand or right side, wherever empty space is there. Now next paragraph is also try to float wherever it find empty space. Okay, but I don't want that. I don't want the, if you just comment it, if you just comment this one, delete it, and if you save it, file save. Now what will happen if you run it? What will happen? See, so the div is float right, and the next paragraph is floating around the div left hand side wherever empty space is there, and then the clear div is also floating wherever the empty space is there, below to the paragraph or beside to the what is it called, div. Now I don't want this, because this I have a special paragraph which is describing my image, and the next paragraph is about something else. So for that purpose, next paragraph, if you give clear left, it would be here. If you give clear right, it would be below to the div where empty space is there. It is going to display there. Is it okay, guys? All of you have understood? Any questions?
So,
have you understood the clear property?
Center, sir.
Sorry?
Like if it is in the center, then
if it is in the center, if you go for that, so go for float center. And file, save all. See, in the center, actually center is not working over here, because only float right and left is working. So if you go for center, means whenever first time you are giving float to some content, it will be either left and right only. It will not be center. Got it? So even for the first, if you go for paragraph, if you go for special paragraph, float center, float colon center semicolon. So see, float center is not working over here. Why it is not working? Because the first element which you want to float, either it has to be float left and the float right. After the first element, if you have a P, that you can make it as float center or right. Okay. Maybe spelling mistake I have done. Float center. CNTRE. File save. No, it is not working over here. Okay, I'll just take it out. No problem. We'll go for the next topic now. Yeah. Now clear float. Clear float. Can you tell me? This is nothing but the clear paragraph whose class is clear. Can you tell me which float is applied over here for this?
Left.
Yes, float left, because it is after the div which is there in the left hand side. Okay. And is there any floating properties being associated with the special paragraph? Is it any floating properties associated with the special paragraph which is displaying in the right hand side of the div? No, because automatically when something you make it float left, after that whatever is there, it is going to take the place whichever empty beside that div. Okay, next, float with a clear demo code. So float with a clear demo code, already we have discussed it. One more time I'll tell you, float with a clear. Okay. Now tell me the output of this. I have a div which is a wrapper div. Within a wrapper div, I have a div box float and I have a p special. And then after this div, I have a p which is a cleared p and there is a normal p. So what has happened over here? Body, this styling for box float left, and then special is background, and dot clear is clear left. So dot clear means which one? This paragraph. This paragraph is having a property clear and it is having left as its value. So that means nam valpit. If you run it, say nam valpit, it is, since it is a clear left, that means left hand side after the previous HTML content, where the empty space is there, it will display over there. Now you change this one to right. Clear right. If you save it, just now we have done the same thing only. See, so in the right hand side, wherever empty space is there, it is going to be starting from there. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Now float with a clear fix hack. Float with a clear fix hacks means what? See what it does. Let me see the example. Float with a clear fix hacks demo. So we'll go to there. Clear fix hacks demo. What does it mean? Click on this. So I have same example. I have a div. Which is called as wrapper div. Wrapper div is having inside inner div where the float text is written, and there is a paragraph like this. Okay. Now what we are doing over here, for the box we are making float left, and for the wrapper colon after we are making it clear both and display block. So clear fix is an option where we are going to combine the float div with the paragraph div into a one content area. So how it looks like if I write it, see, you have a div which is nothing but float left, then you have a paragraph, and both this div and paragraph is under one outer div, and this will be combined together in a one container. How? Because of this behavior. If you go for dot wrapper colon after, and if you make clear both and display block, it is going to display together. So what I will do, I'll comment this line, Control X, and I'll save it. Now if I run it, yeah, so what has happened, the div is going out of the paragraph div and it is just coming out of the paragraph div. Why it is coming out? Because the clear fixed property is not been introduced over here. When you make the clear fixed property, what will happen? The everything will be under one container. If you do over here, file, save all, and if you run it, yeah, like that. Okay, so though actually in the real code, though the box and the p both are under wrapper div, but still it will not show together because of the float property, because of the float left property. But when you extend the float left property with the attribute called clear both and display block, because of that reason, all together in a one container, you are going to get this. It's going to get displayed. Next thing. Okay, now there is a quick question. So select the most appropriate CSS declaration to position a div element so that the other element that follows it may occupy the space to the right of it. Answer, guys?
Left.
Float left. Yeah, so it will be float left. Now CSS positioning, it is very interesting. CSS, what is the CSS? See, already in your project, I have asked you to use position colon absolute, position colon relative, and there is another two.
Can I see, sir? Can I see the sir previous question, sir, once again?
Oh, previous question. Okay. Yeah. Select the most appropriate CSS declaration to position a div element so that the other element that follows it may occupy space to the right of it. So when you make the div float left, then only right side of the div the content will display, followed content.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. CSS positioning, very important. See, when we don't make any value for the position property in CSS, it consider the default positioning is called static positioning. Default positioning is called static positioning. The default that every element gets, it means put the element into a normal position in the document layout flow. Okay, so let's see one demo for this. Static. Yeah. Where is the static? Static positioning. Static positioning means it is the default positioning of any particular HTML content. And default positioning means what? Based on the behavior of the element, whether it is block or whether it is inline, based on that the positioning will take place. So here H1, and there are 4 P's are 5 P's are 4 P's are there. So all are which type of positioning? Tell me. Which type of positioning?
Static.
Yeah, static positioning. So static positioning means based on the default behavior of all the HTML element, where you are going to place it, it would be there. So if you right click over here, this is a static positioning. Why? Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, and then the image. So there is no change in the displacement of the content. It is going with the default behavior because all P's are blocked. So one below another, and spans are inline. So in the 4th paragraph, spans are coming in the inline. That is a static positioning. Okay. In a static positioning, what you can do? Suppose we have a span. Okay. Now span, if I make, can you tell me what will happen with this if I make span padding padding hyphen left colon suppose 30 px. If I do this, if I save it, and if I right click and open it, see what has happened? You got a space before the span. Okay, because so where span is a inline default, it's an inline HTML element by default, so it would be inline. But using a static positioning, if you give padding left, so within the div where the span is there, it is moving to the right hand side that much pixel which I want to move. So that is static positioning. Now here, if you go for suppose paragraph, I will give margin top. and colon, I'll give something called 50px. Okay, now if I run it, right click, see all the paragraph is been shifted 50px from their place down, because it is a margin top. What we have given, margin top. Got it? So based on the static positioning where it was there, all the paragraph, all I moved to the 50px down. So that is all the static positioning. Is it okay? Static positioning means the position of the all the element would be as it is based on their default behavior, whether inline or block. And then on the static positioning, if you do margin or padding, based on that, it is going to move top, bottom, top, right or left. Is it clear, guys? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Got it? Static positioning means you are not customizing the position placement of the content. How it based on its default behavior, it is going to be placed on the browser. So I'll just remove this one and then again save it and run it. So it will become in previous state. It is like this, static positioning. Okay, next. Where is our this one document? Yeah, this one. Okay, next is absolute positioning. It is very important. See, in yesterday, I have asked you to use absolute positioning so that I can put some content on the top of another content. There is a SAM in a small box. I want to put it in the top of the image. So whenever you want to overlap one content to another content, you have to go for the absolute positioning. So through absolute positioning, what you can do, suppose it is like this. It is like this. Paint. Suppose I have this is my screen. Suppose this is my screen. Okay. And in the screen, I have an image, which is like this. I have an image, which is like this. Then I have a text. So where image is there? Image is there over here. How far from the top border? It is having, suppose 30px. 30px margin top. 30px margin top. And in the left hand side, it is having also suppose 30px. I'll write it here. 30px. Okay. Now suppose there is a paragraph. Now suppose there is a paragraph P, and P I am going to place it where? Margin hyphen top colon. I'll go for suppose margin top, I'll go for 40px. Okay, and margin hyphen what is it called? Left. I'll make it margin left colon. This is also 50px. Okay. Now the P's positioning is what? P's position colon, not absolute. It is a static only. Static only. Okay. Can you tell me where the P will be displayed? Because of this code, where the P will be displayed, whether on the C, 50px means 50px bottom means it is like this. 50px from the top means it is somewhere here. And 50px from the left means it is somewhere here. It is somewhere here. Okay. Now, will the paragraph will be displayed on the top of the image, or it will not display on the top of the image? See, both paragraph and div both are block property. So since position is static, so what will happen? Paragraph will display over here and the div is going to be shift to the down since it is position static. So what will happen? You will not get the paragraph on the top of the div. Why? Because static positioning means it is a default positioning of the all the content. So the paragraph will be displayed here. Paragraph would be displayed here on the from the top 50 px down and from the left 50 px right. But the div is going to shift down below the paragraph. Now what I want the para to be placed on the top of the div. So what changes you have to do it over here? Tell me. What changes?
Position absolute.
Yeah, position you have to change this to absolute. That is the only changes you have to do. Then whichever elements are there where based on their margin and padding, on the top of that it will be there only. It will not be default block behavior. It would be there only, and the para would be written at the top of the div. So over here it will be like this because of the absolute because of the absolute value of the position. So whenever you want to do the overlapping one content to another, you have to go for position absolute, and which you want to make position absolute, which element you want to place on the top of other element, that you make it absolute, and you give the margin margin in such a way so that that margin takes the para or paragraph on somewhere which is the position which is in between the div only or in between the image only. Let's understand it with the example. For that we have a absolute positioning, this one. First you see the output. See, we have, can you tell me in this image which is being incorporated with a positioning absolute? Which paragraph?
Green one.
Yeah, green one. So green one is on the top of the first paragraph. This has made the position absolute, and then it has been given a some margin left and margin top so that some portion of this will falls above the first paragraph. Okay, now what I will do, so green one means what? Positions, right? Where is the green one? Body, paragraph, position. Yeah, position is, this is the green one. Now what I will do, I'll just make it changes to static. I'll make it change to static. So that means it to all the elements based on a default normal behavior, it is going to display on the web page. So save it, run it. Can you see? So why the green paragraph is just after the first paragraph? Because it is being in a normal HTML, the green paragraph is below to the first paragraph. So that's why it is normally with the flow, with a normal document flow, it is displaying. But whenever, though the green paragraph margin is set such a way so that it plays on the top of the first paragraph, but still it will not be placed because I have made the position as static. And when you made the position static, based on the series or based on the sequence, all the elements are there with all that sequence. Because of the block behavior, it will display one below another. Just small change I will do. I'll make it over here static to absolute. Absolute. And when you does that and save it, so now see, you are going to see in an actual absolute position, your green paragraph is displaying, not the it is not getting displayed after the first paragraph because of its default position. Or the normal document flow wise, it is not displaying. It is displaying based on the absolute position what has been set. Now, can you tell me, if I ask you, I want to place this green div on the top of the second paragraph, what changes you are supposed to make? Tell me.
Margin top.
Sorry, yes, good. So for that purpose, what you will do? You go for margin top. Top is 80 px. I'll make it as 120. Okay, and like that, I'll save it. And then I'll run it. See, it a little bit more. You have to give the top value. So I'll come over here. I'll give the top as 150 and then save it. This is its absolute position. Absolute position. So the content will be displayed on its absolute position when the position property you make it as absolute. Other than that, it would be normal document flow. It is going to get displayed. See, it is on the top of the second paragraph. On the top of third paragraph, you just give the absolute position, margin top, some more value. It will display over here. Is it clear, guys? Absolute thing. Fine.
Yes,
Any
sir.
questions so far? Whatever we have discussed, any questions on this? Okay. Now we have done absolute. We have done static position, absolute position, and next is relative position. So relative position means what? If you go here, so you relative position means what? So relative position is a position which is going to move your content based on the previous content or based on the followed content. Suppose I have these three paragraphs. Suppose I have this paragraph P1. Suppose I am para 1. Then I have another para. I am para 2. Then I have another para. I am para 3. Okay. Now see, I am for the para 3. For the para 3, if I give for para 3, if I give suppose some styling. What is the styling? Flower bracket, margin top colon suppose 0px. Can you tell me where this para 3 would be displayed? Will the para 3 will display in the top of the screen because the margin top is 0, or it will display just followed to para 2, where it will display? Any idea?
It will display the followed by para 2.
Yes. So when a relative means what? Relative means based on the previous content or based on the followed content, the para 3 position would be set. Okay. So margin top means it is not the screen from the screen border margin top 0px, not like that. Since why? Because I have given position. I have given position colon relative. Position colon relative semicolon. When you does that, what happens? Para 3 would be moved top or bottom, right or left based on the previous content which is relative to him, or based on the followed content which is relating to him, which is relative to that paragraph. So let's see one demo for that. Relative static, yeah, relative is this one only. Okay. So fine over here. Now if you run it, see what has happened. Relative positioning. The green is got moved little bit down from the first paragraph. So I'll go to code, and here which is green, this one, top 30px and left. If I give this one is top equal to 0px, let's see, and it is relative. Tell me what would be the look and feel of the output?
Adjacent to that.
Yes. Save all. See, you are getting because there are some padding is there for the first paragraph. So it is just adjacent or just below to the first paragraph, because it is relative 0px from the first paragraph to it. Okay. Now if I give something like this, if I give, I'll go for padding top. I'll go for margin top. Margin hyphen top is 0px. Now save it and run it. So it is because of its block behavior, it is giving some spaces. Now what I will do, I will go for margin bottom. Margin bottom colon, suppose I'll give 70px. So what has happened? Margin bottom. So is the margin from the border of the screen, or is the bottom margin from the next paragraph to it? What is it?
Next paragraph.
Yeah. So margin bottom means from the next paragraph, the green paragraph is moved for 50 px to the top. That is what. So relative means before the when you make particular element property as relative, so it will move based on its previous or based on its next element. How much means margin or how much value of padding you are giving, based on that the movement will take place. Clear, guys? Any questions on this? Is it okay? Yes, no, not sure?
Or you feel like you want to practice it?
Yeah, you definitely need to practice so that your concept will be more clearer on this.
Yeah, what we can do is let them practice with float and relative position alone as of now.
Okay. Yeah.
Will it be fine, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
So after around 11:30 or 11:45, we'll continue with the remaining positioning and Z index.
Yeah, so we'll be sharing you all this demo practice program.
So they should start with regular float, float with clear, float with clear fix, without clear, and that's all. Positioning we can try later. So we will share the demos. If you want, you can take a break of 5-10 minutes. So around 11 o'clock, I want all of you to practice with float first. So then we will continue with positioning.
Okay, we'll go for 10 minutes break, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So requesting all of you to start your practice at 11 o'clock. We will share you a sample demo, but modify and add paragraph of your choice and try to work on it. All right.
So what code is written there? Means what code is there and what output you are getting. Can you understand why that kind of output you are getting because of that code? Fine. Any confusion on that on the demo code what I have sent you in the mentor notes? See, the float means you can make a element. If you make a element float left, it will float, or it will position, or it will locate in the top left empty space of the screen. Now the next element, if you make it again float left, the next element will try to float on the top left corner of the screen, but there is already previous element is placed there, so it will float beside the previous element. Next element, third element, again if you make it float left, so it will try to float in the top left corner. First element is there, then it will try to float in the beside that first element. Second element is there, so if the space is there after second element beside right hand side, it will float there. Okay, so using floating, what you can do, you can do the designing or layouting of your web page. So using floating, if the contents are block content, you can make it float in a one row, or you can make it float one beside another. So that is what nothing but float does. Okay, and see, when you make first element float left, then automatically second element will try to float to the right hand side of the empty place of that first element. You want to avoid it. So for avoiding the second element to float to the right of the first element, you are going to use clear left, so that the second element will not go beside the first element, it should be below of the first element. So that is the concept of float. So the place where we would like to do the layouting, that can be done through float property of the CSS. Okay, block level element, you can place side by side in a single row using float property. Any questions so far, guys?
Sir, can you explain the clear fix once again?
Yeah, clear fix I will explain. first let me, I have little bit small time now, half an hour is there for me. Let me complete the other topic of that slide, which is nothing but positioning and the Z index, and then I'll come back to it. Okay.
After also, please.
Yeah, sure. See, I'll share my screen. So, how many type of positioning is there? Tell me, guys. How many type of positioning is there?
Four.
Yeah. So position. There are four position have four type of values. One is static, absolute,
Relative, fixed.
yeah, relative, and fixed. Okay. So by if you don't give position any value, so by default it is what value?
Static, sir.
Yes. By default it is static. That means what? That means if I have some paragraph, if I have some para 1, para 2, para 3, para 4. So if I have 4 paragraph and all the paragraph or position is static, so can I make para 2 display before para 1? Possible? Possible or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are telling why? See, if all the paras positioning is static, and if I want to shuffle the shuffle means para 2 would be beginning, para 1 would be second, para 4 would be third, para 3 would be fourth position. So is that possible in the static case? No, it's not possible. Okay, so static is nothing but normal document flow. So that means in which sequence paras are there, same sequence only the para will display in the output screen or in the browser. So that is what static is all about. Getting or not getting? Getting? See, in a HTML, in which sequence all these 4 para is there, you cannot change the sequence of it because all are block, and it will display one below another, one below another, one below another, because of when the position is static. Understood? Static means you cannot change the sequence how it is there in the HTML page for all these 4 para. Now you come to the position absolute. So this is called static. In absolute means what? Absolute, actually you can shuffle it. Absolute, what you can do? You can shuffle, or you can put one below another, one on the top of another. Suppose para 2, then para 1, and then para 3, and then para 4. So see, using absolute, what you can do, though, see, actual HTML is like this. Actual HTML is para 1, para 2, HTML. In HTML, what is the content of para 1? First is para 1, then para 2, then para 3,
Para 4.
and para 4. Okay. Actual HTML, the sequence is like this. But if you want to do the shuffling, para 1, para 2, para 3, for that you have to take a help of the positioning absolute. How? Suppose para 1 absolute, I'll make it, see, para 1 absolute, here if you come here, para 1 absolute, I'll give margin top. I'll give margin top colon, suppose 10px. Okay. And para 2, for para 2 of absolute positioning, I'll give margin top colon, suppose 0px. So because of this margin top value, what will happen? Para 2 will come before para 1. Getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Because it is absolute. Absolute means based on the screen, whatever margin top you have given, the para 2 will display there, and para 1 also will display there. So shuffling is possible. Or you can display para 2 on the top of the para 1 if the margin top is merging of both the cases. Clear, guys? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Static means you base how in which sequence HTML contents are there, same sequence it will display on the browser. That is static, which is a default. Absolute means what? Whatever sequence, maybe the 4 paragraphs or 4 elements are there, using absolute margin value, you can place it whichever content wherever you want in the browser. Okay, you can do the shuffling also. Fine. And next is relative. Next is relative. Relative means what? What you can do? Para 1, then somewhat para 2, and then here a para 3, and then we have a para 4. Para 4. So what we are doing, if why it is happening like this? Because in para 2, I have given margin top colon, suppose 50 px, 670 px. Okay, can you tell me this margin top 70 px? So from where the top is starting for para 2? Is it starting from the top border of the screen, or it is starting just bottom of the para 1? Where it is starting? Margin top?
Para 1.
Yeah. So relative means margin top 70 px means based on the previous element, I want to give a 70 px space, and then para 2 I am going to display. Can you tell me for para 3 what is the margin top? So for para 2, margin top is nothing but relative to para 2, which is suppose 2 px, like that. Getting? So this is a relative positioning where the HTML content positioning will take place based on or relative to the previous element or relative to the next element. Okay, guys, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next is fixed. So fixed means what? It is like this. Go for fixed. So when if you write, suppose writing heading, and then I have a para 1, I have a para 2, I have a para 3, like that. I have so many things, dot, 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 dot. Now, what I will do, if I make the heading as position fixed, then since there is lot of content in the page, if I do the scroll down, since I make the heading position fixed, so heading will not disappear. Heading will not disappear. So see, normally if you see this example, if you come over here, this one fixed example, this is fixed example. Okay, I'll right click. So if this scrolling is there, so what is happening? All the content, fixed positioning, all the paragraph is disappearing on the top of the border of the screen, and the bottom content are getting displayed one at a time. So this is a scrolling down. Now what I want the heading fixed positioning should not go inside of should not hide when I scroll down. It should be fixed, but the other content can go hide when you scroll down. So how that can be done? For that purpose, there is a concept called this one. What do you do? H1. H1 you make it as position fixed. H1 you make it as position fixed and save it. File, save all. Now if you run it, see now if you scroll down, so the position fixed is a position is a property where fixed is a value which come into picture when there is a scrolling is applicable on the application. And so when scrolling is there in the application, vertical or horizontal, whatever may be the scrolling, I don't want some portion of the web page, some content of the web page, I don't want to be get hidden while you do scrolling. I want it to be fixed and freeze wherever it is there, and rest of the content can hide. So that you are going to get it with position fixed. Is it clear? Have you got it? Yeah. So these four type of positionings are there. Yeah, so one is static. Static means it is a default. If you don't give position anything, it would be what type? Static. And based on the static position, what will happen? How, in which sequence in HTML elements are there, on the same sequence you will get the output. Absolute, yeah, absolute means whatever margin top or whatever margin or whatever padding value is giving to the respective element, based on that padding and margin value, it will display on the screen with its absolute margin and padding value. So if you give para 2 less margin and para 1 more margin, then para 2 will come first and para 1 will go next. So there sequence will not be matter. Relative means what? Yeah, so you have a multiple element, and every element, whatever margin and padding you are giving, that is based on its previous element or based on its the element which is followed to that. And next, the fixed positioning, where in your application, if the content is more and scrolling is being incorporated in your browser to see the content, then some portion of the web page I will make it position fixed, so that while scrolling it will not get disappear. Clear? Any questions on this? Guys, it is okay?
Sir, can you explain absolute?
Yeah, absolute is what it is. I'll go for a code. I'll go for a code. 1 second. Absolute.html. Okay, now I have a, suppose I have, I have suppose 4 paragraph. P into 4, I'll get 4 paragraph. A, B, C, D. Can you tell me in output what you will see? What, in which sequence you will see A, B, C, D? Tell me. You will get A, B, C, D in what sequence? In a what sequence? HTML. In which sequence your A, B, C, D content are there in the HTML? Same sequence you will see in the browser. Is it not? Is it correct or not?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now what I will do, if I make it like this, now if I select the paragraph, suppose P equal to class equal to P1, Control C, P2, P3, and P4. Now I have this one, P2, P3, and P4. Now what I will do, if I write it like this, if I go for a dot P1, so I'll go for dot P1 flower bracket, margin top colon, suppose 100 px. Okay, then I'll go for dot P2 flower bracket, margin top, suppose 50 px. So according to this CSS, which will come first? Tell me. P1 will come first or P2 will come first?
Keep this inside style.
Yeah, tell me. Which one will come first?
Sir, inside style.
Yeah, correct. Sorry. Thank you. Now you tell me, because of this, see, margin top means 100 px, margin top 50 px. So from the top border of the screen, according to this styling, P2 should come first. No, B should come first and then P1. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
but if you run it, you'll see ABCD only. You'll say ABCD only. Okay, because shuffling not take place. Why? Because by default positioning is what? Positioning is static. So since the position is static, the sequence of ABCD will not be changed in the browser, in the output screen. Now what I will do, I will make this one position absolute. I'll go for absolute. and semicolon. Same thing I'm going to give it for the P2, P1 also. Control V. So when you make the position absolute on P1 and P2, can you now after 50px from the top border, B will display. Then after 100px from the top border, A will display. Now shuffling will take place. Can you see? See, the shuffling has to B and A. So according C and D is giving first. Why? Because they are because B is 100px, B is 50px, and A is 100px. So based on whatever margin you have given, on that same margin for that absolute value, where it is going to display over here B and A, and then before that C and D is being displayed. Now what I will do? I'll go for C dot P3 flower bracket, and then I'll go for dot P4 flower bracket. So P1 all I'll make it as absolute. That means based on the whatever margin value you are giving, based on that it is going to display. It is not will be in the sequence of ABCD how it is there in the HTML. Here you write P1, P2, P3. P3 you give it a margin top colon suppose 300px. Okay, and P4 I'm going to make it as margin top colon suppose 200px. Tell me the sequence of the output. Tell me what sequence ABCD will be displayed based on this CSS styling.
Sir, BADC.
BADC you are telling. So if I run it, yeah, BADC. So that now you have shuffled the, see, though in HTML sequence is ABCD, but I have changed the sequence by how? By making all the element as position absolute and giving different margin top value. Is it clear now, guys? Any question? Yes, but what I will do, I will just comment this line. All the position absolute I will comment everywhere. So now can you tell me what would be the output, guys?
Sir, ABCD.
Yeah, though the margin is different for the ABCD, but it will not come with absolute margin value. It will come as it is ABCD with the same sequence. You will get it in the output. And what you see, let's check it out. So you will get ABCD. So that means the C is far from B with some value, and D is far from C with some value. So it will over here it is a static. What is it called? Static positioning, where where actually what is happening here? Yeah, since it is static positioning, so from the border of the top screen, ABCD is going to get placed. So the shuffling is not being possible over here. Is it clear? Understood? But now I'll just remove the absolute positioning, and when you remove it, now its static behavior is got deactivated, and once that static behavior got deactivated, whichever margin top value is there, based on that margin top variable on the screen, whether it is B first, whether it is C, then after that whether it is A and D, it will display like that. Like this it will display. So like this. Am I clear now? Now next thing is what? Next thing is suppose this one, relative. Relative means what? I have a P1. So because of the static positioning value, ABCD would be in the sequence. Now I'll select the P1. I select the P2. Flower bracket, margin, top. I'll give it as 50px. Can you tell me what will happen for this styling?
Sir, after A, B will have a gap of 50px.
Yes. So relative. So now when you make it as position, when you make position colon relative. So relative means based on the previous element, the 50px far the B would be placed. A, then 50px, then BCD, like that. And fixed is what? Fixed is whenever you have a scrolling scrolling is there in vertical or horizontal in your screen, it is like this. Go for fixed, run it, open with server, see, scroll down. So fixed positioning is fixed. It is not going to get disappear. So when it will get disappear? When you remove the fixed value of the positioning. So if I remove this one, for the H1, I am removing positioning fixed. Now you run it, try to run it. Your fixed positioning is also get disappear when you scroll down. Okay, so it will be a difficult to read the content of the page because you have lost the heading, so you don't know what you are reading. So to avoid that, for better readability and to make the application appealing, we are going to use the fixed positioning. Is it okay? All the position is clear with all of you? Any questions on this? Okay, now we'll go for the next topic. Next topic is Z index. Next topic is Z index. Okay, so what is Z index? Z index is nothing but, see, in a normal 2D, we have a X axis and we have a Y axis. But in a 3D, we have a X, Y and Z axis. In a 3D, we have a X, Y and Z axis as well. So if you see your house, if you see the room of your house, there is a width of the height X, there is a height, there is a there is a length of the house which is X, there is a breadth of the house which is Y, and there is a height of the house which is nothing but considered as a Z axis. Okay, in a HTML or CSS term, Z axis is what? Z axis is the label. So suppose you have a four glass plate. You have a 4 glass plate, one above another. So there is a bottom. There is one transparent plate of glass. On the top there is another plate. On that top there is another plate. On that top there is another plate. So if you have a transparent 4 glass plate placed one above another, can you see all the plates? Possible or not? From the top, if you see, tell me, guys.
No.
What I am telling, suppose you have a transparent plate of plates of glass. Okay, so normal glass plate you are having which are transparent. Okay, so normally glass is transparent only, right? From one side to another side, glass you can see. Suppose you have a plates, you have a plates of glass, okay, which is not colored, which is a transparent. Now, if you place one glass plate, there are 4 glass plates are there. So in the bottom, there you have keep first plate. On the top of that, you put second plate. On the top of the second plate, you put third and then fourth. So can you see all the plates from the top since it is transparent?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that means whichever in the bottom level, fourth level plate you can see from the top. Third level plate also you can see from the top. Second last of the second plate also you can see from the top. First plate also you can see from the top. So that means this index, this is called, what is it called? Label. There are different label of the glass plate which are there, and from the top all the layer are visible. So that is concept is Z index. In Z index, what you can do, you are going to have multiple element. You are going to have multiple element, and all this element would be viewable from the top. And how you are going to make the layer of this different element? By using Z index. It is like this. I think little bit confusing it is. Let it understand this way. Okay. Okay, don't say it. Okay, suppose there is a layer like this. Suppose this is one, and then this is one layer. Inside that we have another layer. Inside that we have another layer. Okay. See at the bottom there is a inner rectangle box. On the top of the innermost rectangle box there is another box which is a second box. On the top of the second box we are having a, what is it called, outer level box. Now all these boxes are transparent. So that means since all these boxes are transparent, what you can do, you can see the content of the innermost element, you can see the content of the second level element, and you can see the content of the outermost element also. Got it? Clear? So how you are going to give the labeling of this all these three elements? Using Z index. So Z index is a it will take a value. So suppose that suppose first one is what? First, which is there in the innermost level. Suppose that is what is it called? That is P1, para 1, P1. This is P2 and this is P3. Can you tell me which P is the outermost level in this diagram? Which P is the outermost level?
P3.
Sorry?
P3.
P3. Which is the innermost level paragraph in this table?
P1.
And what is the which is there in the middle level in this diagram? Para? P2. So that means to make it now to display P3 on the top, P2 inside that, and P1 inside P2, to make that labeling, what you do, you are going to take care of the Z index. You'll go for Z index colon. So Z index can take negative value or it can take positive value also. So whichever the innermost, that will have the lowest value. Suppose I'll have this one -1. Okay, so which I will make it as Z index -1? Any tell me? Which one I will make it as Z index -1, which is innermost? So
P1.
that means what?
P1.
P1. I'll make it as innermost by making Z index -1. Next, dot P2. So what would be the Z index for P2, guys?
0.
Yeah, you can go give it as 0. Okay, and then what would be the P index of P3?
1.
Yes, Z index 1 colon 1. So the values can differ. Instead of 0, 1, 2, no, it should be 0, 1, and it should be Z index -1, 0, and 1. Yeah. So so you can do any number of labeling, any number of nesting of labeling by giving Z index value, which is increasing in order. So P1 Z index -1, so it should be innermost. P2 above the P1, the P2 would be in the second level, and in the P3 Z index, which is having higher value, which is the outermost level of the P3. Okay. So over here you can do, instead of -1, you can have suppose 20, and you can have this one as suppose 30, and over here you can give it as 40. So that means also what? That means also the P1 would be the innermost level, and then P2, and then the P3, because which is the lowest value of Z index, that will be the innermost level, and then after that, what is the value? 30, P2. So now if I change this one to this, okay, and now if I change this one to this, if I write P2 flower bracket Z index colon suppose -4, then I am writing P3 Z index colon suppose 0, and then I am writing P1 Z index colon suppose -4, 0, and 2. Can you tell me the sequence in which order the P1 P2 will be placed in the in top to bottom?
Top P1, after that P3, and P2.
Yeah, top would be P1, after that P3, and then the P2. So that means what would be the diagram would be look like this. Suppose first one is what? P1, which is having higher value, or which is having the highest value of Z index. So this one, you make it as, this one would be P1. Okay. Then next smaller value Z index is P3. So now it will display like this, P3. It will be like P3. Control Z. It would be P3. And then what would be the next level? Next level would be P2, which is -4. So at the end, at the lowest level of the Z dimension, you will have the P2. You'll have the P2, this one. Click on the P2. So like that. So so can you, which portion would be covered? See, see P1, you are going to display, you are going to see everything of P1, but this portion would be hidden for the P3. Which portion would be hidden? Tell me. This portion. What is that filling option? Yeah. So this portion would be hidden. For the P3, this portion will not be visible. And then which portion would be hidden for the P2? This portion. Clear? Understanding?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so that means what? P1 is having P1, everything you get displayed. P3, which is covered by the P1, is going to get hidden, and P2, which is covered by the P1 and P2, that will get hidden, and rest of the thing will be displayed in the layer. So that is the concept of Z index. So we will go to the code and we'll understand it. So Z index means this one. See over here, if you run it, open with this. See, there is a sky blue color paragraph div. On the top, there is a yellow div, and on the top, there is a green div. Can you tell me what is the lowest Z index value of among these three paragraphs?
Down, I mean.
Blue color. Yeah.
Blue
What is the Z index value which is more than blue but less than green?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow. And what is the Z index value which is highest in among these three
Green.
paragraphs?
Green.
That's the paragraph green. This is the concept which is being over here implemented. So what is it? It is happening like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 P's are there. So positioned P. Okay, now you see over here what you have: position, relative, P, span, position. Yeah. So dot position Z index auto. So when Z index auto means by default Z index value is 0. Okay, and then next P, Z index is 1. So which position Z index would be the 0 value, and the P which nth of type 1 means the second P Z index would be 1. So this P would be at the top and this P would be at the bottom, like that. Okay, and since it is nth of type 1 means next paragraph would be 1 and the next to next paragraph would be 2. So whichever Z index is more, that will be on the top level, and then sequentially by decreasing the value of the Z index, the labeling of the or layering of the content will take place. Now if I do this one, if I make this Z index as suppose, I'll change this Z index as suppose that is 1, I'll make it 2. So positioned, what is the position styling? Position is yellow. So yellow is actually in the middle. Now I have give the higher value to the Z index of yellow. Now I'll save it. Save it and run it. So yellow has the higher value. See, now can you see yellow at the top? Getting?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So similarly, if I want to make it green to the top, I'll go for green. A lime, I'll give the lime value is suppose 5. Now lime paragraph is having the highest Z index. So that means this should be at the top now. Click on that, right click. See, now lime came at the top. Got it? Like that. This is the Z index. So in the Z index, first using absolute, see Z index will not appear if you don't do the position absolute, because you need to put the content one above another, then only you can, or you need to put the content on the same place so that it is going to overlap each other. Then only you can go for Z index property to do the which one you want to display at the top or middle or at the bottom. Guys, clear?
Yes,
okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Adesh.
What is this P colon nth of type 1?
Yeah, P colon nth of type 1 is, see, there are multiple P's are there. So if you go for 1, it is the first P. If you go for 2, it is the second P. If you go for 3, it is the third P. Okay, so it is a there are n number of P's that are there. From that n number of P, I am selecting the first P by the index number. Okay, getting?
Sir, but hiding the paragraph means not showing the text of the paragraph. No, sir.
Which one?
I mean, if you give the position. Paragraph, sir. If you give the index of the paragraph 1 and 2 and 3.
Okay, yeah, what you are telling in the position paragraph, if you give?
No, sir. No, sir. In Z, in the index, we give the 1, 2, 3, 4 values. No, sir. Position, but in paragraph you have to give the give that. But if you hide the one lower level part.
Yeah.
But he's not seeing the text, no, sir. I lost.
Yeah, that's what it will not show. No, see, see the top element is going to cover the below element. Okay, so that see sometime whenever you want to do the animation and all, what you will do, you will be doing the labeling, and the lower level which is below the outer level, which has got some content, it is going to get hidden. But you can't do anything. You can't do anything of it. But there are sometimes there is an image. See, in your last print only you have got it, right?
Yes, sir.
In your last print only you have got it. There is an image, and in that image there is some portion which is empty. There is nothing in that. There you want to place the SAM name. Getting? Yes, so for that you can do the Z indexing. Understanding?
I understand.
Yeah. So you have a image which is a lower level, and the above the image where there is some empty spaces where nothing is there in the image, there on the top level you are putting the name SAM. So yes, for sir, that kind of layout designing, you will be using this Z index. Okay.
Sir. Okay, sir. Understood.
Yeah. So that's it from my side for Z index and positioning. I have a TTT program. I'll go there and I'll come back. Meanwhile, what I will do, I will be sharing you this code, this practice code to all of you guys in mentor notes. You just refer and practice it. Okay. And try to understand, try to analyze the code and see the output and do some experiment on the code and check the output, how it is changing, so that your concept will be more clearer. Okay, guys, fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening. You can keep working. Keep revising the previous content if you have not revised fully, and the new content of this topic I will be sharing you in the mentor notes. Yeah. Sangeeta, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
So let them practice for another 1 hour, then we can release this print.
Right. Sangeeta, I'll just take a leave for 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing a sample demo on positioning and Z index. Please practice the same. Anywhere you got struck, please call me. requesting all of you to read the problem statement. We have 2 sprints for today. One is nameplate challenge, the other one is machinery layout. Both the links I have shared it on Mentor Notes channel. Nameplate, machinery layout. I'm giving you another 5 minutes time to read the problem statement.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, do we have to create those templates or the entire nameplates, the complete
No,
nameplates?
no. I'm about to say that.
Okay.
That is just a sample, the newspaper one.
Okay,
But
so
you have to create the bakery one.
okay, I mean the templates. Does the templates provided
No.
below?
You don't need to create that. You need to create for bakery one. Scroll down.
Okay. Logo bakery.
All 3, ma'am, yeah, one of them.
How much time you need to take to create each one? Half an hour.
Yeah, ma'am.
Then you can create all 3. Okay, Vivek, share your screen. Let's discuss on problem statement. Certain things remain same. For example, your body background color, your list style, all the list background color. So nameplate. So every newspaper has a nameplate. It's just about the only thing you can guarantee won't change from edition to edition. So I'm sure you experienced with these kinds of nameplate. Again, wherever, not only in newspaper, when you look into a web page, any web page, certain things remain same. For example, their logo or name. If it is company, the company name. So apart from that, some icons. Scroll down. So this New York Times and this newspaper is just an example. But the problem statement is come down. So create the following header, which resembles the given images below, that helps in branding and guiding the users to the important section of pages. So this nameplate you need to replica is different nameplates. As per my knowledge, you can create all 3 within 1 hour or maximum 1.5 hours, because the body color, background color remains same. So you need to replica this logo bakery, list, service, product above, and you will be finding contact, a separate span. So what hint I can give is you have to use float. So float Wherever it is required, add padding, the respective padding, border, background color, margin. So you have to use the concept of flow. Is it possible to create?
Yes, ma'am, it's possible.
So yeah, so okay, let me finish. So you can have nav bar. So use semantic. So if you look into it, it consists of a kind of a nav bar. It's a nav bar actually. So create a nav tag. So under that you can create a list. So first list consists of logo bakery, and you can make it as a span, followed with services, projects, about us. You can create as an anchor inside your list. So anything you have observed on first contact, what property you can apply for this first contact?
Button type.
No, not required. Button. We haven't introduced button.
Float right.
I'm talking about style. Yes. The style
Order
you
it.
need to apply for this contact is float. Float on where?
Float right.
Right. So you should apply for float style right. So float right. And use the respective background color, what is that, margin, padding required, the spacing between your margin and this. What else? That's all. It's a simple sprint. Don't use button kind of a thing, use list. So I want all of you to try as a list. So under unordered list, you can give logo bakery, service, project, and about us alone, a list element which should be enclosed with an anchor. One more list, but which should follow the float property of right. And here logo bakery is having right. So the difference between. So you think what are all the float property you can add? Here float right for contact. Here float right for bakery. Wherever it is required, you can use span. Think about it. Yes, any query? For everything, it is background black. For the span alone, background is same color as your background color. Check whether they have provided with the color code and everything. Scroll up, scroll up.
No, ma'am, not provided.
Whatever the relevant color. The blue shade color you provided.
No, ma'am, color not provided.
That's okay. I'm leaving to you.
Can
Go
I
to
stop?
index. No, don't stop. Go to the next problem statement. Click index.html. You need to start from the scratch. Guys, will you able to create it? It's simple sprint. Out of all HTML sprint, this is one of the simplest sprint. Again, I'm telling you, you need to replica this logo bakery, not the newspaper one. Can you go to the next problem statement?
Yeah.
Asnary layout. Yeah, web technology is constantly improving, and today developers have formidable range of features at their disposal. So scroll down. So newspapers are pure content. So how they are making the content more attractive? Have you experienced these type of page division in your newspaper?
Yes, ma'am.
Come down. You need to replica. Come down. You don't need to replica newspaper, but you need to replica this layout. So little bit scroll up. Columns are most important element. Depend upon the newspaper format. Tablet, broadband, etc. It might have anywhere from 4 to 14 columns. So depend upon the news, it may differ. So I may have only 4 blocks or 6 blocks. It differs. Do you find an equivalent rows and columns in your newspaper? No. Depend upon the content, it differs. Depend upon the page layout, they will be inserting the news. Yeah. Coming to the problem statement, you need to create the layout which resembles the machinery grid layout on the newspaper using color blocks as shown in the given image. This is also one of the simplest way. You need to replica this layout. So come down. There are at least 25 blocks, each of them having different heights. So for your reference, they have provided heights. Each of these blocks have fixed width of 100 pixels. So width remains same. Have you noticed? In all the blocks. So width remains same. Whereas height alone get differs. So check, you will be finding 25 blocks. All these blocks are placed in 6 columns. So the background used for the block is this particular color. Even they have provided the color code. You can give background color is equal to #3D1E37. So use float layout to realize. Use CSS floats to realize this layout. So first of all, how you will achieve these? How many columns are there?
6.
So I want all of you. So we have 1.
6 columns.
This will be considered as don't do any changes. Let it be. Who is this? Vivek.
Yeah, ma'am.
So 1. So let's take this one, whichever is having maximum. This will be considered as a second one. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 6 columns. So how many division you need to divide your page? So inside your body, how many divs should be there?
Ma'am, 25, 24.
Check properly.
6.
Even don't miss.
Ma'am, the number of boxes.
Let me see. Okay. Check 24 or 25. So 3, 6, 4, 14, 16.
Ma'am, 25.
Okay, 25 are there, pa.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So apply the background property as this particular maroon color kind of a thing. So you will be dividing the page into 6 div. So let's take the first div. So how many rows are there in first div? Guys, are you with me?
6.
So again, listen to me. So inside body, you will be dividing 6 division. Page will be divided into 6 columns. Each column is further divided into. So let's take first division. First division is divided into. You count this block 3, and the second one is 6, and the third one is 4, 3, 4, and 5. Each division height remains same. I'm sorry, width remains same, 100 pixel. Height alone get differs. Can you see? The first block is taking 59 pixel. Second one is taking 143 and 157 px. So the page will be divided into 6 division. Inside each division, you have as many number of blocks. You divide it and you apply the respective CSS. So you need to create a separate CSS to align your height. Width remains same. So the common width you can give it for. So think about it. For all the division, you will be for outer division, you will be applying column, common width, whereas the height differs with each division tag. So you should create 25 style. Each 25 style, you will be applying different column, different height, and call that class in your respective div. You will be achieving this. I know this is also not time consuming because they have provided all. Only thing is you need to do proper copy paste and you need to call the appropriate style in your division.
And what about the gap between them?
Find it out. How can I give gap between one block and another block? See, not only
margin.
think about it. So not only, so if you look into first cell and the second cell, first column and second column, even from top to bottom, there is a space. Am I making it sense? So there is a space between left to right, and there is a space between top to bottom.
Ma'am, we can make,
there is a space.
ma'am, we can make the adjacent boxes share the same margin, same.
It is not a box.
I mean, the divs.
Divs.
And we can make them divs from 24 or 25 divs.
Why are you deviating? We were talking about this space, this gap. How can you achieve this? What is a concept to start with the particular spacing?
A margin.
Using grid.
Each, not width. Go for margin.
Yes,
Please go for margin. And what about this? You need to start your first div with this space. How can you achieve this?
Margin.
No, it's not margin.
Align, ma'am. Align center. Center. Text align center.
Okay. What is one more thing you can use to adjust?
Align center.
No. Relative float. Position relative.
Margin left.
Float left. The spacing between starting of your page followed with my actual div. I haven't received that property name so far. Many of you. What was the property?
Padding.
Padding. Here it is left padding. You decide how much percentage you need to start from here.
Yes.
Yeah. So as I said, both are simple sprint. Try to complete by within session time itself. Thanks, Vivek.
Okay.
You can start with finish.
In between, yeah, the middle div should have some space from the logo bakery, from the logo of the bakery. So you'll go use margin, or each individual list item should have some spaces in between. Go for padding like that. With that, keep in mind, go ahead and start working on it. Yes, that is the hint from my side. for working on the nameplate. Similar fashion for the masonry grid, you are going to have 6 div because 6 column, and the first div will have 3 rows, second div will have 4 rows, third div will have something, you check it out how many rows. So like that, this 6 div you have to make it float left, float left, float left, so that all the div which is having different number of rows come in the one row, and then do the styling. With this hint, can you go about and working on it? Possible? Okay, fine. Start working. So here we are using float left so that the block element which are div, I can place it one beside another on the same row.
In this also,
Sorry.
is this correct for today's that I have?
You have created a three. Okay, three. Yeah, it is correct only. Now you place the content in it.
I'm not getting this thing. This
What you
should
are?
be created as a 1 day, or this should be created as a 1 day.
No, see, you have a div1, div2, div3. Fine. Now div1 will have the three thing. No, div1 first thing it will have a logo bakery text. Then it will have the unordered list navigation. Then it will have the contact link. That you place it. Getting or not?
Okay.
Yeah, in a div1, h1 is what? Logo bakery. Write it there. Logo bakery. Okay, next is what? Next, what is the next content of the div1? Right. Yeah, here we'll have three list item. Yeah, services. What is that? Service and something is there, no? Service. Add that thing.
The text color is my concern. How to get the text color in that also? I am not getting the text.
No, just give font, just only color. Text color means only color. Select the UL LI and color equal to white. You can do it. Okay, you have to select all the LI of UL. No, don't give a inline.
First I do for one. I am trying.
No. Directly color will not work. It is a styling, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
So I can
select UL. Select all LI. Okay, fine. All are white only. Select all LI. And then color white. Now, you have to align it so that using float left, you have to align all this thing in the same row, which is the first black div. Okay, and you have to make the list item on the same line using list. Now you write list style type. That you try. Okay, that you experiment. List style type. List style type none. Yeah. Okay. Now in the first div, add the contact also, text also, and then do the formatting. You use for everything, for H1, for UL, and for the contact, you make it float left, float left, float left. It will come in the one row. Got it? Now you try it out.
For this, I give float left.
No, you have to give float left to, flow. No, you have to give float left. Yeah, in LI level, you give it in UL level. Give the float left in UL level. Select the UL and give the float left. It would be in a sequential float left. First should be the H1 float left, then UL float left, and then the contact float left. Unless and until first one is float left, you cannot do the second one float left. Getting?
Means heading should also be float left.
Not semicolon, color colon. Now I think you can try, Adesh. Okay.
How can I get this in one line? I tried the property.
That's what I gave you a hint. No, first H1 you make it float left, then UL you make it float left, so that it will come in the one line.
Okay.
Okay. And what do you do? In line number 32, you select UL, parent element, then LI. Line number 32. UL, before LI, UL, then LI. Is it coming in the same? No, space.
Float is missing. Float left for your list.
Yeah. Should I remove it from here?
It should, your logo bakery also, it should be the list. Line number 41. Don't give it as H1.
Yes.
After 42nd line, you give one more list. You cut and paste that style. Adesh, try by yourself.
Okay. In the previous, can I share?
What?
In the previous.
He is having some doubt in the
I'm not
previous
getting
print.
this color to be the color of this one. I'm not
getting. Okay.
Notes learned. Okay, all these are H3, and if I give H3 color is this, but that is not coming.
Your screen is not updated. Means I cannot see your screen. We can't see your latest screen, Adesh. We are seeing only the nameplate. Nameplate only we can see. Nameplate project.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
The heading 3 color, it is not showing.
Heading 3, it's a black. You have given #4. Is it a color black? Give some black, then type it black only. Maybe this code is not semicolon. You have to give semicolon was not there. Control Z, semicolon was not there.
Okay.
Semicolon was missing. Yeah.
Still the same. It is.
It should be black, right? Learn to let go. That's what you are telling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go to the code. Okay, it is H3. Go to the HTML part. Where is H3 you have given?
It is H3.
HC. Since it is a H3, let it go. Learn it to let go. Since it is a href, no? Href default color is, what is it called? Blue. So what you have to do, you have to select. What do you do? In a CSS, go to CSS.
Sir, I think we have to use that visited mem.us, no, visited.
Yeah,
visited.
A:*link.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what. A:*link. That's what I'm telling. What do you do? Type H in a new block you create for CSS. New block.
For what?
For this CS, to give the color black to your let it go. You do one thing, what I'm saying. Yeah, after this, you place a enter. After place the cursor there, press a enter.
Yeah.
No, anywhere which is where the closing flower bracket is there. Enter. Write H3. Like A:*link. Like A:*link. No, not H3. A hyperlink.
For A, I have created here for A. Can you see line 40?
No, you have created text decoration, none, border for every A.
Border
Okay, now here you give. Now here also you have given color black, but it is not coming. Go for A:*link
link. You do that, try this. A colon link means when you load the page, what color you want to give it for the hyperlink. Flower bucket, a color black. Black. Now you try.
Yeah.
It came, right? So see, directly when you want to see, by default the anchor tag link would be in blue color. To make the anchor tag link to some other color, how you are going to select the anchor tag? A colon link. So with A colon link, when you load the page, the anchor color look and feel you can change using by selecting A colon link. Got it, Adesh?
Yeah, for particular link, we need to go by this.
Yeah. To select, to give the styling of a link when the page got loaded, how you are going to select the link? A colon link with that selector.
Okay.
Yeah, stop sharing. Only A also will not change the color from blue to black. A colon link is the selector for the anchor content on page load. Whatever styling you want to give it. What about others apart from Adesh, Swapnil, Mainak? What about other guys? How much you have done? Surmani, where are you? Have you done any one of the three nameplate? Surmani? Priyanka? Priyanka, are you there? What happened to these guys not responding? Jayasri, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm doing, sir.
Yeah, which one you are doing? First nameplate?
First one only, the bakery one.
Okay, fine. What about Rushikesh?
Doing, sir.
You're doing, okay. You know, right, how to go about it? Means the steps?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about Vivek Kumar? What is your status? Started coding?
Yes, 70% completed, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, carry on, guys. I'll not disturb you. So you focus on your writing code only. nameplate is okay. Yes, Kudus, nameplate is coming fine. Output is correct. Good job. Yeah, Richa, you can push your project. The nameplate project, you can push it. Yes, Tejas, both the sprints output looks fine. Perfect. Okay, guys, those who have completed both the 2 day sprint, they have done a great job. Good. I appreciate their work. And those who have yet to complete, so today evening and sit for tonight and finish it off. Both the sprint nameplate and the machinery grid. And if any pending task is there for the previous sprint, that also you complete it out. Okay. So do you guys have any questions, any queries? Anything where you got stuck, you require some help so that you can proceed further, like that? Any queries are there, or you have understood what to be done and now it requires some time to complete it out? If that is so, no problem. Guys, any questions from your side? Any queries?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Okay, guys, then we'll wind up today's session here only. So we'll call it a day. Yeah, Siddharth.
Sir, I need to connect with ma'am.
Okay. Sangeeta, are you there? You just slack her, Siddharth. Okay.
Can you leave?
You slack Sangeeta ma'am, and you can talk to her, I think.
Sir, I have a query regarding some problem statement.
Okay, which problem statement?
Sir, it's not related to the front end.
Oh, okay. Fine. Then you separately connect with Sangeeta ma'am and get it clarified. Is that fine?
I can share with you also. If you want, I can share my screen.
Okay, now currently, see, we need to close the session now only.
No worries.
Okay, the other guys, you can leave the meeting. Okay, for you, the session is done. And whoever having any queries like Siddharth, they can be in the meeting for another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys, bye, all of you. See you tomorrow.
Sir, like I am having a...
Yeah, Kashinath.
Can I share the screen?
Yeah, share your screen.
Sir, can you check my Slack?
Okay, I'll check Slack. Yeah. No, Kashinath, I didn't get anything from your side.
Sir, Anuj, sir, me.
Anuj, okay. Yeah, Anuj, grid is coming fine. Good job. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, those who don't have any further queries, they can leave the meeting.
Siddharth, can we connect up?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm giving. Not here. Yeah, you join in breakout room 2.
Ma'am, you need to send me a request.
You have access to join in room 2.
Yeah. I don't know, ma'am, room number, na?
Room 2. Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Swapnil.
I have to show code as well.
No, your output is correct, but I just want to cross check with your CSS script.
Okay, I will share.
Just to check whether you are in the right direction. Yes. I'm going to breakout room, Hasib. Once everybody done, you can leave. I will close.
Hello, sir. Hasib, sir.
Yes, Kashinath.
Sir, can I share my screen?
Yeah, please.
Sir, like, is this
Sorry.
Is like I am trying to the second one.
Second one you are trying, no?
Yes, sir.
I'll give you a hint. Your second one, you need to create 6 div for 6 column. Okay. And all these 6 div should be float left. All these 6 div column div, you have to use float left property of CSS. Okay. And individual all these 6 div will have number of rows. So first column div will have 3 rows. So it means 3 div inside. Second column div will have 4 or 5 div inside, which is the row. So like that.
Okay. So like I am getting like in the style I have to like give the class name as D1, right?
Yeah. So you have
like
to give
I am
D1.
Getting the output in a.
You show me the output.
Yes, sir. So like it is like this.
You have to give height and width. Have you given height and width?
No, sir, not yet.
Yeah, height and width you have to give. See, you have to give float. First, you have to. What you do first, you create all the column div, and inside all the column div, you write the row div. Then you give the formatting to all the div, black color. Then it will come. Then you make a float to all the column div, it will appear. Okay.
Okay, sir. Like
unless and until you write the full code, it will not come.
Okay. Yes, sir.
See,
because here I have done
listen to me what I'm saying. Listen to me. Go to where you are having div style, float colon left. Okay, fine. Then div D1, D2, D3. So for D1, go up. For D1, D2, D3, float left is not there. Remove it. For D1, D2, D3, float left is not required. Remove the other everywhere. D1. So inner div, you don't have to give it float left because that will come in a different row, no? D2 also remove the float left. Yeah, this also remove the float. Now it will work. Inner div, you don't have to give float left. Outer div only you have to give the float left for all the outer div. Okay, getting?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now it will now run it.
Yes.
All the column div. Yeah. Now you have to give spacing.
Like space mark.
Yeah, margin top you have to give for all the these D1, D2, D3. Margin top 2px or 5px, something like that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Right.
Yeah. Now
yes,
can
sir.
you try now?
And I like. Yes, sir. I'll try now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Sir, can you check Slack?
Yeah, Avilash, right?
Yes. About that nameplate sprint.
Yeah. Nameplate looks correct. Yes. No, not looks correct. Logo bakery. Where is your? See
I have sent 2 pictures. Means it is going that.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Logo bakery service. See in the first div, black div, the contact is not displaying. In the second black div, you don't have the logo bakery. In the third div, you don't have the contact. Try to work on it. Okay, get it.
I have done exactly like that in Git. That contact was in blue.
No. See, in the all the three content has to be there in all the div, right? So in the first div, there is only logo bakery and the navigation bar. There is no contact. Check the output. What is being asked?
Sir, I have did 2 times. No, it has been gone from left to right. So my second picture is the first one. There it has started from logo bakery, and the second one it ended in contact. That is
but all the three black div need to have all the three portion. No.
Yeah, it is having 3 portions, sir. It has gone length. It has been increased. That's why it was not coming in one screen.
No, it should come in the one screen. No, that's why it should come. You scroll. Okay, fine. Means if you are telling if you scroll to the right, it will display.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, then fine. Then it's okay. Fine. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can upload it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, fine, Avilash. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You can leave the session. Fine.
Yes, sir. Bye, sir.
Yeah, bye. Yes, Swapnil.
Sir, I have got output, but I have used some different ways. Whatever you saying, I have not used that. So I want to check is it correct or not.
Okay, show me. Many ways it is not a mandatory you have to follow certain rule only, certain approach only. You can go for any way. So you have given everything 25 div you have written at a one shot. Oh, then you are using grid template. Good. This is also correct. No problem.
Actually, I have referred you program whatever you do.
But here you have to do little bit more programming you have to do in this approach. Okay. Yeah, for all the 25 you have to create the what is called a template area.
Yeah.
So little bit this approach is good because already we have covered this topic. No problem.
Yeah, I have referred your example and accordingly.
Yeah. Fine. Good try. Good job. Okay. Good one.
Is it correct?
This is a correct only. Correct only. Different approach but correct. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, because already this concept is there. What we have learned in the concept session, so you can use it. No issue.
That's what this is your example.
Yeah. But in this print, it is considered that you will be using float property only. But okay, fine, no issues.
I have used a float as well there.
But then no, you have the idea of the float. You got the idea.
Yes, I got it.
So same thing you can do it with float also.
Yeah.
Fine. Then that much is enough. No problem. You keep it like this. No issues.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Good job, Swapnil. It is always better to get the same thing in a different way. That would be a learning. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Swapnil. If you don't have any other queries, you can leave the session.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Yeah.
What about Rushikesh, Vivek? Any doubt you guys are having, Rushikesh, Vivek?
Sir.
Okay, Vivek. If you don't have any doubt, Vivek, you can leave the session. Okay, Sangeeta, I'll take a leave now. Sangeeta?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go close the session.